Fuck! Yo guys, my name is Legend and welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, I'm fucking pissed. I have some horrible news. As some of you guys know, I've been trying to get my driver's license for my motorcycle for months now. Because here in Belgium there's this stupid system. Take some driving lessons, you do your first part of your exam, which is on a private terrain, and you do some figure eights, stuff like that. If you do that, you get your license. But it's not a full license yet. In order to get your full license, you have to do a second exam, which is on public roads. You ride on the street and somebody rides behind you and he just checks if you're not making any mistakes and stuff like that. Now, when you get your first part done on the private property, you have 1 year in order to get the public road part done as well. Now, I've been trying to do the public road part for 4 months now and I still don't have it, which means I exceeded my 1 year period for getting my driver's license, which means they took my driver's license away. I lost my driver's license, which sucks because it's not really my fault. I'll get into that later. But the thing I have to do now is do the private property part again and the public road part. I did the private property part, I got it back. Now I have to do the other part in order to get my license, so I'm still not allowed to drive. Now this is where the effed up part comes in. The certain driving school where I'm going is just fucking me sideways. It's just stupid. When I did part 1, I almost died. You saw the video I almost died on the KTM Duke. That's the same school. They put me on a bike and they knew there was something wrong with the bike, but they still decided to put me on the highway, which ended pretty bad, as you guys know. Then 6 months passed, something like that, I think it's 8, and I decide, okay, now I'm going to go for part 2. I make an appointment, I go there. Nobody shows up, just straight up, nobody shows up to the exam. I'm sitting there waiting. 10 minutes before my exam should have started, some lady walks up to me and says, yeah, nobody is coming today, you have to go home. I'm like, what the fuck? I have like 1 more month in order to get my license. She's like, yeah, we'll call you back next week, don't worry about it. I go home, I wait a week, guess what? No phone call. Literally no phone call. So I called back, so I called her up and I said, hey, I would like to make a new appointment because I was there. I think it was February 9th. I was there, but I would like to make a new one. But I have to do it before March because that's when my trial period stops. And she's like, well, sir, it's impossible that you were here on the 9th. I'm like, no, I was there, but nobody showed up. She's like, no, that's impossible. I'm like, but I have proof. I paid for it. I have the payment proof, I have a little paper, I had it. And she's like, no, that's impossible. I'm like, well, what? How is it impossible? I have proof. And then she got all like defensive, like, oh, but I'm not the reason nobody showed up and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to make an appointment. Nobody is attacking you. And she says, yeah, well, too bad, there's no pre-date before March. I'm like, yeah, well, fuck me. She just says, yeah, you should call them, have them deal with it. I'm like, great. After calling a few people, I managed to find a spot before March. I go back to the driving school, I do my exam, we come back and the guy goes like, he's like, yeah, your motorcycle gear isn't correct. You need this, this and this. I'm like, wait, what's wrong with my motorcycle gear? It's my Alpine Stars jacket, my Alpine Stars gloves, it's great gear. He's like, yeah, but I cannot allow that gear. What? Why not? I'm like, well, I did driving lessons and they told me my gear was good. Like, it was all according to rules. And then he just starts attacking me like, yeah, I know you're lying to me. I'm like, whoa, guy, chill. They told me my gear was good, chill. And he starts getting all defensive as well, like, oh no, you're lying. There's no way. You're not even allowed to do your exam. What the fuck is going on? So I go home and he said, I'll call you back or something. I was at school, he calls back, so my mom answers the phone and she's talking to the guy, and out of nowhere the guy starts telling my mom that I was lying to him and that I'm a liar and stuff. Like, what the fuck? He was literally talking to my mom, telling her that I was a liar because I was lying about my gear being approved, which is just very unprofessional. Well, long story short, there's no more space to do it again before March, so I'm fucked. So I have to go back to the driving school, take extra driver's lessons because they are mandatory when the date of your license is expired, which is just very expensive. It was almost like 500 euros, I think, extra. So I take like 3 hours of lessons, I go do my exam. I do my exam and then we come back and the guy's like, oh well, I have to fail you for your exam because the positioning of your feet was not good. I'm like, what? I've been riding for 3 years. I've been riding for 3 years. Never have my feet been any problem while riding. He's like, yeah, well, your feet are not good, it's dangerous, they can hit the ground, blah blah blah. It's a weird explanation. Earlier that week I took 3 hours of lessons and nobody ever mentioned position of my feet being off. While riding to the driving school, there was a person riding behind me to guide me there, which is mandatory for insurance and stuff. And he was like, oh whoa, that didn't even occur to me. I'm like, didn't even occur to you? You're supposed to point these things out. That's why I take lessons. So literally nobody that ever seen me ride pointed out my feet were wrong, except for the day I have my exam, and which is the reason I failed, which to me just sounds like an excuse at this point. And I get it. If your feet are in a weird, awkward position, it can be dangerous. I get that. The fact that no driving school or no guide has ever told me they were off is kind of weird to me. At this point, I've done 12 hours of lessons. I've attempted my exam 3 times and never ever has anybody pointed it out. So it just sounds like an excuse to me. I had to take 2 more hours of lessons, which was like 300-400 bucks again. So at this point I took 14 hours of lessons. These lessons were for my private property maneuvers to practice them again. So I go to the exam of the maneuvers, I pass that exam, and then I have to go back on the road. Now I go on the road again, driving, I don't make any mistakes. We come back, guess what? Another excuse why I failed. And it's just as silly as all the other ones. Now guys, I know this sounds like I'm complaining, and I am. And I know everybody that fails their exam says, oh, but it's not my fault. But guys, really, it's an A1 license. It's supposed to cost 800 bucks, something like that. I, at this point, have spent over 2,000 euros trying to get it. That's more than double. I've spent so many hours, I've skipped so many days of school to get this freaking license. I've took 14 hours of driving school. I've did almost 5 exams and there's always some stupid excuse. Oh, your gear isn't correct. Oh, your positioning of your feet isn't good. Oh, we're not going to show up. And it's so demotivating because I know I can drive. I've been driving for 3 years. I've never gotten a ticket. I've never caused accidents or anything. And the fucked up part is, last week Friday I had an exam. There's this guy, he never rode a motorcycle. It was his first week of riding. And he gets his license and he's allowed to go on the road. Now the woman comes up to me and tells me I failed because of a lack of experience. Does that make sense? Somebody that has never driven a motorcycle is allowed to ride. Then the woman comes up to me saying I have no experience on the road. I've been riding for 3 years. In my eyes, that's more experience than somebody that's been riding for a week. I've been thinking about selling my bike because I just cannot afford it anymore. Oh my god, guys, it's so frustrating. And I'm not saying I'm the best rider out there. Of course I make mistakes. I'm still young. I don't have a whole ton of experience, but I have enough experience to be safe on the road. I'm on the road every day, no matter what the weather is, no matter if it's wet, if it's freezing, if it's snowing. I'm always on the road every day. So we're 1 year later. I have 1 year more experience than last year, and now the excuse is, oh yeah, you don't have enough experience to be safe on the road. We cannot let you pass your exam. I know some of you guys will be like, oh my god, Legend, you're just bitching because you failed your exam. And to be honest, no, I'm not. I failed the first 2 times without really bitching. I was like, okay, well, I guess I made a mistake. But it's been 5 times now. The excuses have been so weak on their side. I've taken so many hours of lessons and they don't do shit. They don't teach me anything. They say I don't have enough experience, but I'm not allowed to go on the road, so I cannot even gain any experience. I mean, it's just not logical and it's fucked, and I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think in the description. I know this video is all over the place, it's not really planned or structured, I'm sorry. If you have any suggestions on what I could do, you can always let me know, preferably on Snapchat or something. It's in the description as well. I'll keep you guys updated. This Friday I have an appointment with the school again. If we don't figure shit out, then I might just straight up sell my bike. And fuck it, I'm serious, I'm done with this shit. Enjoyed? Please leave a like. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.